Chan kính chào John và cô Sarah. Con kính chào cả nhà. Con xin hỏi về xin Chan và ông bà John Sarah giảng thêm cho chúng con về sắc do nghiệp sanh ạ. Con không hiểu tại sao mà sắc do nghiệp sanh thì cũng là kết quả của nghiệp, nhưng mà lại không được coi nó là một quả ạ. Tâm dịch giùm chị con.
Yes, Mr. Lan would like to hear more about the Kamacharupa. So we know that the Kamacharupa are produced by karma, but why they are not considered result like vipaka?
Well, they are conditioned, they are results, but vipaka just refers to namadhammas. So only chittas and cetasikas are vipaka. When we talk about, or when the Buddha talked about rupas conditioned by karma, we don't use the word vipaka, that's all. So they're rupas conditioned by karma, but whenever we read about vipaka, it's just referring to chittas and cetasikas.
Dạ, điều đó thì con cũng đã được học và con cũng đã được nghe nhiều lần như vậy, nhưng mà con cũng vẫn thấy thắc mắc là tại sao nó cũng giống như tâm quả thôi, nó cũng được tạo ra kết quả từ nghiệp quá khứ, nhưng mà nó lại không được gọi là quả. Thì con chỉ thắc mắc như vậy. Dạ, con xin có một cái câu hỏi nữa là con biết là các căn, các cái sắc căn, tức là sắc nhãn căn, sắc nhĩ căn, sắc tỷ căn, sắc thân căn, sắc thiệt căn, sắc thân căn và sắc ý Phật, sắc mạng quyền và sắc giới tính là những cái sắc mà do nghiệp sanh. Thì con không biết là những cái sắc đó nó sanh diệt trong khi mà hết 17 sắc ra tâm, thì những cái sắc đó nó được sanh lên, nó có giống như là cái sắc của lúc đầu không, hay là nó là một cái nghiệp khác ạ? Mời em.
Nó là nghiệp khác hay là nó...
Tức là những cái sắc được sanh sau đó, nó có phải là cùng một cái nghiệp với lại cái sắc của cái nghiệp
tạo ra không chị ạ?
Đúng rồi em. Chị muốn hỏi điều đó.
So her question now concerns the different sense bases like ear sense, eye sense, tongue sense, and body sense, and masculinity and femininity, and the Jivitindriya rupas. So we know that they are produced by karma, and they last for 17 moments of chitta. So her question is, after they are fallen away, the new sense bases arise. So the new ones, are they produced by the same karma than the ones that have fallen before?
Actually, karma is producing rupas at each moment. So, for example, the Jivitindriya rupa or the sense-based rupas are being produced all the time. No need to wait for 17 moments of chittas. They, as Sun Lan said, they last as long as 17 moments of chitta, but they're being produced all the time. So I-base, for example, is being produced all the time, but it doesn't mean that visible object always impinges on it. So this is one point. And sorry, what was the second point she asked? What was the main question?
Produced by the same karma.
Oh, we can't say, because like we've discussed before, the eye sense, if it's a result of kusala karma, it may be the same karma that produced the patisandhi chitta. That karma may condition the eye sense rupas throughout life, or some or all. We can't say if it's the I sense rupas conditioned by akusala karma, when there's the seeing of an unpleasant object, for example, then of course it can't be by the kusala karma that conditioned birth, but who can say whether every I sense throughout life is conditioned by the same karma? Impossible to know whether it's the same karma that conditioned each moment of ear sense, each moment of eye sense. But perhaps Ajahn may add more on this point.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah.
Can it be known? What conditioned what right now? What karma conditioned the eye sense? And what karma conditioned the ear base and so on? Who knows? But there is the difference between rupa conditioned by karma, conditioned by citta, conditioned by uttu, and conditioned by ahara, just to arise for 17 moments of citta and then gone, never to arise again. Is that can be understood? What condition what? Only that. So now, what karma condition seeing right now? Who knows? So what karma condition the eye base right now? But it can be known that even the eye base, the citta cannot condition it. The uttu cannot condition it. That's why we learn to understand the truth of what rupa conditioned by what condition, karma or citta or uttu or ahara. Is that right? Right now, at moment of hearing, who knows what condition the ear base and what condition the hearing? Same or different karma? The one which condition the ear base and the one which condition hearing right now. Just learn to understand as much as can be understood. Because even it is seeing or hearing or eye base or ear base, it's not known now. So how can it be known to let go the idea that it's permanent? It's something that anyone can make it rise, or is there already? For example, seeing right now, can anyone know what the eye base of seeing right now conditioned by? What kind of karma? Kusala karma or akusala karma? Hearing now is conditioned by kusala karma or akusala karma, or what karma in samsara conditioned this moment of the eye base and of the hearing, which is different. Who knows? How much you pay attention to it. Can it be directly known? Or what is that which has the quality of not as anything at all? It is just the eye base, just a reality. It has its quality, its characteristic to be that which the visible object can impinge on. That's all. And what we're talking about right now, all reality is gone. Even all are conditioned to arise, but they last very shortly, instantly. So how can it be known? That's why what can be known by way of nimitta. So what about the condition for only one kind of reality arises and falls away instantly to be known? That's why learn to understand what is there, little by little, to let go the idea of self, not by ignorant, condition, attachment to how come this and that right now, without understanding the nature that it's gone, no matter what we are talking about now. See, the sound gone, the seeing gone, everything gone. And if there's a little more understanding of the nature of what is there, how can it be let go or wearing away by the understanding of the truth that it's not there anymore? So it cannot be taken for I or mind or anyone at all. Learn to understand Dhamma as Dhamma, because now Dhamma does not appear as Dhamma. It appears as something all the time. The visible object does not appear as just a dot, which is there, not that which sees it. See how short it is. Each moment, each reality, so short. That's why it's quite very difficult and very subtle to be known, to let go what is taken for the shape and form and the mark of what appears, no matter through what any doorway. The answer cannot be as you would like to have it in this life. Is there any way to know it? What karma condition hearing right now? Is there any way to understand that? When it cannot be understood, while thinking about it, and no attention to the reality which now is there, seeing, or that which is seen. No thought about what condition it, what kind of karma, in what life, years and years ago. Otherwise, there cannot be any understanding of that which is now appearing and disappearing. Is that true? Satya Bharami is so very important to develop the understanding of the truth, which can be developed to understand it. At the moment when it's there, not just thinking about the story of it, how come, what life in years and years ago conditioned this moment, the seeing right now, or the hearing right now, or the eye based right now, or the ear based right now. Is it true?
And one other rupa, I don't think you mentioned Hadayawatu. Actually, the karma conditions, rupas, I mentioned every moment of citta from the first moment of life, the Patisandhi citta, not just at each moment of citta, but at each of the three sub-moments of citta, the arising of the citta, the titi, kana, the middle of the rupa, and the falling away of the rupa. At each phase of the citta, karma is producing rupas. So, for example, the Hadayawatu is being produced all throughout life. Rupas being produced at each phase of each citta, not waiting for 17 moments for eye base or heart base to be produced. And we have to also remember the eye base or the heart base. It arises in a group of rupas. So the four primary rupas and the other rupas that arise in each kalapa, as well as the Jivitindriya rupa and the eye base rupa, they're all being produced by karma at each of those phases of each citta. So the hardness, for example, that arises with the eye sense conditioned by karma is also being produced in that group at each of those moments. So many, impossible to understand what karma, when and where and how, and totally unimportant. But it's good to appreciate that these rupas are being produced all the time, even now at each moment. And the rupas in that kalapa, for example, the hardness in that group with eye sense conditioned by karma, different from the hardness conditioned by temperature or the hardness conditioned by chitta, conditioned by the other primary rupas in that group and conditioned by karma. So very deep and subtle. Only the Buddha could understand all the intricate details and what karma produced what rupa at what time. But for us, just understanding what appears is far more important. But it's good to understand that the rupas now being produced at each moment are produced by these different causes, no matter what name we call them.
Dạ, vâng, con cảm ơn cô Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Thưa cô Sarah, con có một câu hỏi nữa cũng về sắc nghiệp sanh đó là con muốn hỏi là hiện nay trong giới trẻ thì có cái vấn đề là chuyển giới tính rất là nhiều. Thì giống như là nữ thì có thể chuyển thành nam, nam có thể chuyển thành nữ. Cái điều đó giống như là con người có thể làm thay đổi giới tính của chúng sanh. Như vậy thì con biết cái điều đó nó là không đúng, nhưng mà để hiểu nó đúng thì phải hiểu như thế nào ạ? Chị nhờ em Tâm.
Yes, I have another question concerning the Kamacharupas. Nowadays, a lot among the young people, there's a lot of people who do transgender surgery, like men to become a woman or woman to become a man, vice versa. So we know that the masculinity or femininity rupas are produced at birth, at the moment of Patisandhi Chittas. So how to understand correctly this transgender surgery? What happens?
Different dhammas, but still, if the masculinity rupas are being conditioned from birth, then in terms of dhammas, still the masculinity rupas are arising. And usually in a life, either the masculinity rupas are conditioned by karma or the femininity rupas are conditioned by karma. But in the text, we read about one or two cases where there were changes in life, all by conditions, all by karma.
Another way of saying that is that the masculinity or femininity rupas that are conditioned during life don't necessarily have to be the same as those that are conditioned at birth. Yes. Or by conditions.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. Con có thể chấp nhận được.
Thank you, I can accept it.
And each one that is conditioned is for a moment only and falls away instantly by its conditions. So it's not a masculinity rupa that has to last for life, because it's just for a moment and then gone.
Yes, and of course they could be arising alternately in a given life too. One point to mention though, just because a person changes their gender by surgery, it doesn't mean that the masculinity or femininity rupa changes according to that surgery. It will change according to conditions rather than what is done to the physical body. Thanks.
Yeah. Dạ, thank you John. Con nghĩ cái điều đó nó thuyết phục con hơn ạ. Dạ, con xin hết ạ.
I think that's it's more convincing now. Dạ, cảm ơn chị Xuân Lan. Không biết là cô Như Hòa bật camera là có định hỏi câu hỏi nào không ạ?
And one other point is, however much someone may wish to change the sex, no one can stop past karma bringing its results. When it's time for karma to bring its results. Like someone may wish to be an animal, or someone may, wish to be the opposite sex, but it depends on karma, what result it brings at each moment.
Dạ. Cô Hòa định hỏi đúng không ạ?
Dạ. Kính chào A Chan, kính chào ông bà Chôn Sa Gia và các bạn đạo. Như A Chan vừa có giảng cho chị Xuân Lan về các cái đặc tính như là sắc nhãn căn hay là đối tượng thị giác, nó đều là thực và nó sinh diệt rất là nhanh. Thì A Chan khi giảng thì A Chan có nhắc một câu thì đúng với cái chỗ con đang hướng tâm, là A Chan có nói là như bây giờ thì có bao nhiêu cái hướng tâm đến Pháp. Sau khi A Chan giảng thì A Chan có hỏi câu đó, thì con đang tư duy rằng nếu bậc trí mà hướng tâm đến Pháp thì chắc chắn đó là cái hướng tâm chân chánh. Nhưng mà với vô văn phàm phu ít học như chúng con thì khi hướng đến Pháp, đôi khi thì chỉ là để ghi nhớ cái ngôn từ, đôi khi thì để an tâm hay là để thỏa mãn cái câu trả lời, giống như mình thỏa mãn cái thắc mắc. Vậy thì con xin được hỏi là hướng tâm chân chánh được hiểu như thế nào là đúng đắn nhất? Dạ.
Yeah, Achan, in your answer to Miss Sun Lan, you said that why we are thinking about those details, if there that we cannot understand, is there any attention to the Dhamma that appear at this moment? And she said that I am sure that when the wise attend to the realities, it will be wise attention. But for us, we think we attend to the realities sometimes just to remember what we have learned, or sometimes just to make ourselves feel more feel better, to attend to the realities. So my question is, what is wise attention? Yes, that's it.
At moment of hearing anything, shall we just follow without any considering at all? Excuse me. Or just listen carefully and understand and deeper about just one word, which represents a reality. For example, seeing. See, we hear the word seeing a lot, many times, not just only in few days, but so many moments in a day. But what about the understanding of seeing better and better? Or none at all? It seems like there is no more development of understanding of seeing. But when there is a moment of talking about it, it's moment of remembering, attending very gradually to that which is there. For example, the word seeing, see, at that moment, it depends on how much interest has been developed to begin to attend to seeing, or not yet. So right understanding is so very true to the truth of how much understanding is there, develop. Not just see what about hearing, thinking, liking, disliking, what dhammas in a day are not known. Just, but we learn a lot about it gradually, little by little. Not to try to know, not to try to do anything, but the moment of understanding, gradually, conditioned moment of awareness or attention, little by little, to the reality right there. Now, is it or is it not yet? See, by conditions. That's why we talk about it in order to understand a little more of it. For example, we talk, Chitta is the chief of experiencing the object, that's all. Can it remember? Can it be aware? Can it create a mind? And so on. That's why we learn little by little that there is more than one reality arising. There must be more than one, for sure. And what are they? Learn to understand a little more of that which can be known in daily life. Otherwise, it's just the word heard and remembered, but not understand the reality which is there right then, as we have heard. For example, today, is there any moment of sati? See, at moment of being friendly, kindly, doing something, speaking in a day. What are they? Little by little, no expectation for anything at all. So even right now, no expecting for seeing to arise or anything to arise at all. Each one is conditioned to arise already. It arises now. No one can make it arise. Little by little, until when right understanding is there, no expectation of the object which is there to be known. So at moment of trying to concentrate on breath, to know the reality of breath, it's not the path. Because ignorant of the path, the I is there. It's done by the idea of self. How can it be realized? Because ignorance cannot understand the true nature of anything. So we learn about the rupa conditioned by such and how many citta and cetasikas. Who know? When time comes, which one will be the object of understanding of different stages of clear understanding, or are unexpected? Even one hasn't thought about breath at all. But when it's there, instantly, breath is there, understood by conditions. No thought about it, no thought about it, no thought about anything right now, but they arise by conditions. What is deeper? What is more subtle? The truth. That's why learn to let go. But it has to be only understanding which can let go. That's why just understand the truth of what is there a little more by reading Tipitaka or discussing and so on, because there are so many words about the truth in different contexts that can be studied, that can condition to understand how much subtle it is by few words, but it's only by condition to condition such few words, which is the word of truth, which is the word of awareness, which is the word of attention to that which is now appearing. So we can talk about anything to understand the nature of it, that all are gone, but the understanding develops to the degree that no matter what appears, right understanding of different stages can experience that. surprisingly, anatta more and more clear. And comprehension little by little.
And because all dharmas are anatta, they're all unexpected. So with regard to your earlier question, I don't know if you remember the story about Soraya. He was a young man and he was infatuated and had impure thoughts about the beauty of a young monk. And by conditions, Soraya, the young man, changed into a woman, became a woman, all by conditions unexpectedly. And later, I remember he asked forgiveness and returned to being a male and then became a monk. But who knows what conditions will bring what results at what moment. And I mean, we all enjoy the stories, but actually they're just different dharmas, different masculinity and femininity, rupas, conditioned by karma, and other support conditions like the citta, the thinking in the akusala way with strong attachment was a condition for this karma to bring a result like this. And then again, so more than we can understand, but just to know that different dharmas, different karmas bring results unexpectedly at different times, all anatta, not in anyone's control at all.
And see, even just a moment of understanding what Kunsara just said, that's the way, the development of understanding, very little, very gradually, who knows, without such moment, can there be a little more understanding accumulated, developed, little by little, to understand the unexpected moment, unexpected object, because it hasn't arisen yet, but when it's there, right understanding which has been developed can understand that unexpectedly. We don't know what object is there to be realized. It's so anatta, even right now. Just a little understanding from what is heard is accumulated little by little to let go the idea of self, see, from male to be female, and then male anatta by conditions.
Dạ, thưa A Chan, thì như vừa rồi đúng như cô Sarah vừa nói là chúng ta chỉ thích thú và chìm trong những câu chuyện thói quen, nhưng mà như A Chan có nhắc về cái thấy, bao nhiêu duyên để có thể hiểu được về cái thấy. Như cái thấy thì nó có thể ghi nhớ được không, cái thấy nó có thể hiểu biết hay xả ly được không, thì đúng là nếu không được nghe từng chút một về cái là thực, là cái thấy ở khoảng khắc này, thì không có một cơ sở nào để vun bồi thêm một chút hiểu biết. Thì lúc đầu với con thì con giống như nghe cái thấy thì con cảm thấy như cứ lặp đi lặp lại thì thật là giống như mình thuộc lòng rồi và nó chán mỏi. Nhưng đến thời điểm này thì mỗi lần A Chan nhắc như thế, con bắt đầu thấy cái giá trị, cái ý nghĩa của pháp là thực mà mình chưa được rõ ràng một chút nào. Con hoan hỉ với điều A Chan vừa nhắc ạ. Cảm ơn các bậc thầy.
As Sarah said, we enjoy very much the stories, but also like Achan stressed, that seeing now and hearing now, is there any understanding? And when Achan explained about seeing, whether it remembers or whether it understands. I find that very useful. Before, when we listen to hearing, talking about seeing again and again, sometimes I felt very boring. It's already heard many times before, but now I start to realize how precious it is because it's real at this moment. So thank you very much, teachers.
I think that everyone appreciates the truth, no matter hearing about the truth by story or by the quality, the nature. It conditions a little more understanding, and at the same time, right understanding, wearing away or let go of the idea of self. Otherwise, there's no moment, there's no way to have less and less ignorance and attachment to the self, to the atta. And this is the only way, the very subtle way. Samadhi, the first factor of enlightenment in each moment of understanding the truth.
Dạ, không biết là có đạo hữu nào muốn nói tiếp không ạ? Em Duyên có định hỏi gì không? Vâng, hôm trước thì trong buổi phát đàm của Úc thì chị Hường có đưa ra cái câu hỏi để chị đọc cái phần mà phân loại về các loại tâm tham căn chẳng hạn, thì chị đọc chị cảm thấy rất là khó hiểu và muốn tìm một số những cái lời giải thích về những cái tâm đó, thì nhân cái dịp đó thì con cũng đưa ra ở đây để cho bà có thể giúp chị Hường hiểu thêm. So in one of our recent discussions, Ms. Huang said that she read about the classifications of chitta, and it goes on like this, like Somanasa Sahakatang, Diti Sampayutang, Statsamkarikang, and so on. And when we look at books like the Survey of Dhamma, Paramattha Dhamma, there's no examples given about those chittas. So because she finds that very difficult to understand, so she looks for other sources. But the examples given in other sources seem to be not so accurate. But they are the only examples that she found. Do you have any comment or any help for her to understand what she tried to understand?
Có mà
I think
không bị bay trong một tiếng.
I think it's now it's daily life, for example, now when we enjoy a pleasant story with loba, for example, sometimes there's wise considering, but often there's loba. And usually the loba is with pleasant feeling, but sometimes it's just very slight loba with upeka, not pleasant feeling. And sometimes when there's loba, it may be with ditthi, as we've discussed so often, taking it for someone that exists, a Soreya who was in reality a person, or it may be just clinging without wrong view. And what about when the chitta is weak or strong? So it's about now, like sometimes we just in our own mind think about the story with strong loba, and sometimes someone tells us something and this weaker loba, but because of hearing the story, there's a little bit of loba. So different strengths, different kinds of loba, usually pleasant feeling, but not always. It's daily life. So whenever we read about any classifications, it's not to learn the names or the details, but just to understand a little more about the nature of conditioned dhammas now in daily life.
Yes, I think as Sarah has said, we know what each of those terms means, but you're asking for an example of a moment of consciousness where all of those various terms are there in a particular combination, but that's not really the function or the purpose of studying the Abhidhamma, or studying the classification, should I say, in those ways. Because as understanding develops, and the aim of the study is the development of understanding, of insight, in understanding the true nature of what is appearing at the present moment. It doesn't mean allocating a classification to each moment of consciousness or to a given moment of consciousness. The citta that is included, the citta that is described by those different classifications is still a citta. It still has the same characteristic as any other, the same essential characteristic as any other citta. That is to say, it experiences an object and it has the characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. And this is what the development of insight is about. It's not about being able to pinpoint specifically how the present moment of consciousness should be classified according to one of the various means of classification. So we need to keep this in mind when we are studying these various classifications, because they can be helpful in bringing us to understand how conditioned nature of different realities. But we shouldn't get caught up in trying to experience and pinpoint them for ourselves. Thank you.
Do you have pleasant feelings in a day? Or not at all?
Hỏi cho chị Hương đi, chị Hương ạ. Chị Hương có khi phân tích về
Dạ có ạ, con cảm.
yes, Achan.
And who is so pleasant? The feeling.
Dạ vâng, là con ạ.
Me.
So it's you with pleasant feeling. It's just so very subtle that it cannot be known, usually in a day. It's known as something, as someone, my friends, or my friends, see, or my good friends, see. The moment of having pleasant feeling, the feeling is there, but whose feeling? The object is pleasant, the object cannot feel anything, but the moment of getting something so pleasant, no one can stop the pleasant feeling at all. It's there already, but whose feeling is there? Even the object is changed from one object to another object, but the I is there, feels so happy. or someone, not I, or no one at that very moment. It's so very subtle. That's why understanding how subtle it is as asava, didasava, bhavasava, kamasava, avijjasava, see, to be reminded even at moment of understanding a reality, but who understands? That's why to let go the reality as atta to be anatta, all are anatta. It takes how long? No one can expect. So long for the Buddha to become enlightened as Buddha. Normal life, daily life, the understanding of the truth of it's different, the idea of self, and the feeling and the memory, all are dhammas. That's why learn to understand the truth, to understand what are there in life, they all dhammas. Otherwise, I and atta all the time. So when it's atta, without understanding for sure it is atta. But when there is anatta, when there is understanding, the feeling is just a reality. And memory, sanya, is a reality. The five khandhas, no matter what level, what objects, all are there, depending on understanding that no one can work through the ignorance to be right understanding. But dhammas are there all the time. So it's quite true to the truth to understand this moment and any moment in life, normal life, daily life. Otherwise, how can there be the understanding of anything? It's just I, hearing, considering, understanding, and I understand. That's why no matter what, the present feeling without understanding, where's the I? It's there. That's why the intellectual understanding, the first round, cannot eradicate the accumulation of enormous ignorance and all kinds of akusala. But it just wearing away so very, very little, so very, very subtle. The more understanding, the more difficult to let go. That which has been accumulated quite a long, long time. Because it has to be right now, as Buddha taught about the truth of each moment, is conditioned to arise and gone instantly. So when it appears to right understanding, it has to be appear to right understanding of only one reality until nothing is there. Only that one reality is experienced clearly, very, very, very clear to understand more than just that object. Because all day there are different objects by conditions unknown yet. So Buddha taught about everything, the life of such and such people, the happenings, about changing from man to woman and so on, to understand the truth. No one can do. No one can make anything because actually what is taken for oneself or something is only a reality. Many, many realities arising, falling away, appear as something, atta, all the time, even today or now. But understanding begins to develop underground. See, little by little. Is there other way to understand the truth? Satya Barami, condition, Virya Barami, Kanti Barami, Satya Barami, Adidana Barami, Nekama Barami. See, if you don't think by way of Barami, nothing can lead to understanding the truth of this moment at all. It's just like what Buddha realized and taught. So right understanding begin to be true to the truth. And at that moment it let go. The idea of I will do, I want to do, I want to sit, I want to concentrate, I want to understand this and that. But when time comes, it's moment of beginning to consider, to attend to the reality which appears at any time, even right now, by conditions, even at moment of speaking. It's not self, it's not anyone. All are dhammas, no matter in what situation, what moment, talking, smiling, watching TV, or whatever is said, by conditions. That's why Buddha said, just understand that which is there right now, which has arisen right now only. If it's not yet understood, how can there be the understanding of anything? Because no understanding the truth of what is there right now, on and on and on. But when it develops, it can be a moment of attending by conditions, unexpectedly, little by little, to what has arisen now. Is there other way to understand the truth?
Câu hỏi cho chị Hương với chị Hương ạ.
Dạ con nghĩ là không ạ. Và khi nghe bà giảng thì con thấy rằng là cái sự hiểu biết, sự tinh lũy về trí tuệ của con là vô cùng ít ỏi. Hầu như là liên tục có tạp kiến nhưng mà không hề nhận được ra, bởi vì là cái sự hiểu còn quá ít ạ. Con rất cảm ơn bà.
I think there's no other ways, Ajahn. And as I listened to your explanations, I realized that my understanding is very little. Vichaditi arise all the time, but I totally not aware of them because understanding is too little. Thank you, Ajahn.
And that
And
understanding, even is so little, is so true. So it's such a barami. Right understanding does not deceive at all. It's so true to the truth. Very little understanding. It's so true. Such a barami. And panya barami develops because understanding that understanding right now is not enough yet. So vidya barami keeps on hearing, considering, to understand, seeing right now when it's time, not by intention anywhere at all. So the moment of hearing, is that true? It's the Satya Parami, becoming a little firmer. No other way. And that is the way to develop understanding. At moment of understanding, little by little, the truth of what is now appearing. So true to the truth. And that is Panya, different from Attanutiti. Viriya Parami now. Hearing again, keep on hearing, considering when time comes by conditions. It can be at any moment, before sleeping, while eating, who knows? All dhammas are anatta. But there must be conditions. Otherwise, how can right understand the truth of what is there now as it is? No one.
Yes, and I was going to add that the point of reading about details such as about Ditthi Sampayutta or Ditthi Vipayutta and so on is not to try to catch whether Ditthi is arising now or not, or to think about whether I have so much or so little Ditthi in a day, because that's still more clinging to I, but just to understand that there are different dhammas arising and falling away, some with ditthi, some without ditthi, sometimes pleasant feeling, sometimes no pleasant feeling, sometimes strong, sometimes weak, that's all. So it's the point of these details is just to understand dhammas as anatta. And it was the same when we were talking about karma, and when I mentioned that karma conditions, rupas, at each of the three sub-moments of each chitta, the arising, the upada, the titi, or the falling away, the bhanga moments of each chitta, different rupas are being produced by karma. So again, it's not to try to find them or catch them, but just to understand dhammas are arising and falling away by different conditions at each moment now. All anatta, no one there, no thing there. That's the point of the study, just to understand there are only different dhammas, not my little wrong view or my great wrong view, just different chittas arising with or without ditthi throughout the day, that's all.
Dạ, con hiểu thêm một chút rồi, con cảm ơn bà.
I have a little bit more understanding. Thank you. Sarah, usually Sankharika as Sankharika are referred to as weak or stronger chittas. But in the case of Mohamula chittas, both of them are Sankharika. But in that case, it doesn't mean that they are strong, right? It has to be something different.
Yes, I think it's like they're not classified because it's not, the ignorance is not prompted by another, for example. So for some realities, like we read about the jhana chittas, which are sasankarika, for example, but it doesn't mean they're weak. So we have to consider the meaning depending on which chitta is being referred to. But generally we can say, like sometimes with the attachment, we may not particularly like the taste of durian, but someone says, oh, try it. And okay, a little bit of pleasant feeling, but it's weak. It's prompted, or it's not the same as when we just like it so much that we can't stop eating it and enjoy it without any prompting by another, for example. So we can generally see that for Loba, for example, it's stronger or weaker, and the same for dosa. But for moha, it doesn't apply, not prompted by another.
So in the case of moha, it's not prompted because it's readily there.
Most of the time. Doesn't need any prompting. But again, Ajahn may have some further comment on this point.
Ajahn, you have some further comments?
Sorry, I didn't turn on the mic. Yeah,
Can you
even
hear me
right.
now, please?
Yeah, even right now, the reality is not known. So how can it be known whether it's prompted or not, right? But when you like something, no need to be prompted. You try to have it, look for it by yourself. So it can be understood little by little what is meant by prompted. So we can know when it's wrong enough. It doesn't need anyone to prompt it at all. But when one is so lazy, idly, it needs prompt sasankarika to be prompted by someone. That's why the level of strength is there, which can be known whether it's asankarika or sasankarika. You just like to have a nap, but someone asks you to do something, and after that you can be very, very pleasant to have such moment rather than just sleep or have a nap. Who knows? But we can say why it needs someone to prompt it, because it's so weak. But when there's no one at all, try to urge or prompt it, it's there already because it's strong enough. That's all. As much as one can understand the moment it's strong or weak. So what about the difference between Lopa Mulacitta Sasankarika and Lopa Mulacitta Asankarika? Is there already drowsy? Does someone prompt it to be drowsy? And the, yeah, and the situation is quite different at moment of understanding the truth and at moment of it needs some more considering courage to understand, see? So it just tells the difference between the one which is strong and the one which is weak, that's all. As much as we can know the difference. And it does mean that we need the word to understand the truth. But the reality, the characteristic of what is there is different. So we can understand no matter it's at level or very weak level or very strong level without any word. No need to say it's a sankarika or sasankarika. What for? Understanding the truth without naming it, that they are different. This one is different from that one. Because the moment of sasankarika is not the moment of asankarika. That's all. They are different. Even they are lopa or dosa or whatever.
And Ajahn, in the case of jhana chitta, we have said to be prompted. So what prompts the jhana chitta?
Without development little by little, can the jhana arise?
Now, Ajahn,
See, so what prompted? Each moment of developing the kusala citta of that level to another level. Do we have to name any citta whether it's prompted or unprompted? No need. But the difference between the two is there. And what is known has to be true to the truth.
only the jhana chitta are said to be prompted, or also other chittas in the development of samatha.
So,
Also,
what is it? When is the jhana citta different or not different at all? When it reaches that degree.
very different.
But before that, it has to be sasankarika by way of it needs viriya and kanti and so other reality urge to condition it not to get away from that point to understand the truth by way of samatha bhavana. So is there panya at moment of developing samatha
It has to
and other cetasikas as well. Do we have to say that when it's weak, it's prompt, it needs someone or some other conditions to prompt it? It's not the moment of trying to use the word or to understand that moment when it's not there. But before that level, what is there? Without courageous, without confidence of that level of kusala, can there be such moment of jhana?
In this case, it's called self-prompted, right? It's not
So,
prompted by
so, I,
external elements.
so now is it moment leading to understanding the nature, the characteristic of the Dhamma as anatta? Is it now prompted or unprompted? Should it be classified? Or is there different moments by conditions, that's all?
It's not self-prompted, but it has to develop. So it is prompted, if we want to use the word prompted, by the habit, the accumulation, the growth of understanding and the other wholesome seekers. So it has to prompt the next arising of the understanding and the other factors until it becomes jhana citta, or until the understanding now develops to the highest level. So the words prompted and unprompted don't mean it has to be prompted by someone else, but it is the habit, the accumulation, the prompting of that citta, no matter whether it's the one with attachment, the one with dosa, the one with understanding, the habit for it to arise.
The case of Loba Mula Citta, for example, when it's prompted, it is said that it can be either by oneself or by another. So in the case of jhana citta, when it's prompted by the previous development, is it just one by oneself rather than by another, right?
Of course, in truth, as we know, there is no self or another. So what is being referred to, even when we're talking about loba, when it says, oh, being prompted by oneself, what does it mean? It just means the habit, the tendency of loba is strong enough, no need to have any other urging. So, but when it's not strong enough, then it needs other kinds of urging to arise because it's weaker. So if we're talking about understanding, I mean, again, no self or another, but it depends on the habit, whether the understanding is firm enough to condition more understanding. It needs the previous understanding to condition the stronger understanding.
Then in the case of unprompted, I thought it was because of accumulated low-bow understanding or something like that. That condition, that moment should be unprompted. So there's some overlapping things here.
So with loba, like when seeing something one enjoys so much, the mango, then the loba arises instantly. It's so strong. It doesn't need any other encouragement or support because the habit is so strong. So this is strong loba or unprompted loba. But when sometimes, like when we're in Bangkok, we may be offered a dish which doesn't look very appealing, but someone encourages us to have it. And then, okay, we try it and it's quite tasty, but this is weaker loba. So it's just different ways of speaking. Actually, no one else to do anything, but just it depends whether that loba is strong enough or not. And with understanding, the understanding like now, it's not strong enough to arise without the previous accumulation, without reading, hearing, considering, and jhana citta to be of the understanding of that degree, the calmness of that degree. It doesn't just arise by itself. It needs a lot of development, a lot of wise considering, a lot of calmness to reach that degree. So this is why it's just said that it is sasankarika. But I think no need to think too much, because actually it's just daily life. Sometimes the lobha is strong or weak. Sometimes even the understanding, like even when walking in the marketplace or anywhere, conditions for understanding. Other times, like people often say, oh, if they don't come to the Zoom discussion or open the book, no conditions for any understanding to arise. So it needs the listening, the considering, the wise friends around, the encouragement to read the book for that understanding to develop. That's all. It's just referring to different kinds and degrees and what supports or conditions are needed for the attachment or understanding to arise at different times. It's all daily life. A friend this morning in the Chinese discussion asked how all the points we're discussing about dhammas, how it applies to everyday daily life. And I said, well, actually, this is daily life, different kinds of lobha, different kinds of understanding, different rupas conditioned by karma, all the points that we're discussing, different chittas arising and falling away now. This is actually daily life. The daily life we think of as daily life, shopping in the market, getting upset with one's family members or whatever. These are the stories, the fantasies about daily life. But actually, daily life is now different dhammas, different kinds of lobha, with and without wrong view, stronger and weaker, and sometimes with mana, and so on. Each one arising and falling away. No one there at all. No one else to prompt it. No ajahn in truth. Just different dhammas arising and each one gone, conditioned in different ways, gone, never to appear again. Yesterday, when we were in Adelaide, the story, we were visiting lots and lots of Jonathan's family, and in the middle of the day, he had an accident and fell down some stairs and hurt himself. And I was reminded of when something similar to Nina happened to Nina, and in the Zoom, Nina said to Ajahn, "Oh, I had an accident yesterday, and I fell over, and blah, blah, blah." And Ajahn just said, "It's all gone. It's all gone. It's just a long story about me and my injured leg, and so on and so on. All gone. What about now? Just thinking now." Lobha now, dosa now, ignorance now, different dhammas arising and falling away. This is daily life, letting go of the baggage of the fantasy about what daily life is and understanding it's here and now, this moment of thinking, this moment of stronger or weaker dosa when thinking of the story. It's all gone, no one at all. It's so helpful to understand that what we're talking about, the Abhidhamma, the subtle dhammas, are daily life at this moment, not names and labels and classifications to be learned, but the teaching about different dhammas to understand whatever arises in life is anatta. No one here, no injured leg, no Hanoi, no Adelaide, just different dhammas. That's it. Daily life now, moment to moment. And then gradually there's letting go of, trying to find out whether it's strong or weak or prompted or unprompted, because it's all gone. It's all a story. Just understand what is here and now. Very powerful. The teachings are very powerful. No other way, as we're always reminded.
Sarah, and I hope not too much dukkha vedana for Jonathan.
it's only a moment and then gone anyway.
Well, I was going to tell you the story, but Sarah's made it clear there's no point in doing that. No. There you are, bandage arm.
Oh, but you are here and share the Dhamma with us. So
That's right. Yes, I've got much better things to think about than my poor body.
anyway, speedy recovery, John.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dhamma. Just minor bruising, I think, and a little bit of skin broken. Yeah.
And when there's pleasant feeling or discussing Dhamma, no dukkha vedana at those moments. Yes. Usually
It's not
it's
so
just
much the dukkha vedana that's the problem. It's that I won't be able to swim for a few days. That's the bigger problem.
all daily life dhammas, clinging to different objects, clinging to different stories, clinging to me. But like we discussed last week when discussing upadanas, just moments of clinging in different ways, with or without wrong view, each one gone.
Some days ago, we were discussing about Tinamida, reading the books of Chetasikas. And I think there was some, consideration about Tinamida that arise when we're not feeling sleepy. And usually we think that Tinamida arise when we are sleepy, but they can even arise when we're not sleepy. So I think it would be helpful if you can explain a little bit about that situation.
So even now, even in a Dhamma discussion, there may be laziness to share the Dhamma or help at some moments. One may think, oh, okay, just need a little rest or relaxation. So Tina and Mida are so common anytime, not just when sleepy, as you said. And which chitas do they arise with?
Loba mula chitas and dosa mula chitas.
Right. Not with moha. Yes. So just, when, like before you mentioned, when one's a little bit bored, for example, not boring, bored, when one's a little bit bored, like a little bit tired to listen to the Dharma explanation, and actually one's not sleepy, but there's just a little bit of dosa, like one can't quite be bothered to listen carefully. So Tina and Mida are there. Or yes, when one's just lying down and one may not be actually sleepy, but there's clinging to the pleasant feeling, laziness for kusala to arise at those moments. So I think it's very common.
Sasankarika chitas.
The name, the labels, but we can begin to understand when it's appearing in daily life. Yes, just too lazy to help. One sees one's friend needs some help, or someone would like to have their dishes cleaned away at the table, just a bit too lazy to help or to show kindness or to give support or explain about the Dhamma when there's an opportunity. So many missed opportunities for kusala because Tina and Mida are there. Maybe Ajahn, as we're a little short of time now, maybe she would like to add a little more before we finish.
So we'll keep on talking about the truth in order to be moment of beginning to attend to the characteristic of a reality, unexpected one. by conditions. To begin to understand the nature of that which experiences the object, not that which is experienced. Because even right now, the reality which experiences the object, usually unattended, unknown, no thought about it. So it's time to understand little by little that is so very important. Without the reality which experiences the object, there cannot be anywhere appearing at all. Nothing can appear without the citta which experiences the object. But it's always forgotten, even right now. There's attention to the object which is experienced all day, but no thought about the very important the indriya, manindriya, arises and experiences an object each moment non-stop. Just arise and falls away and arise and falls away, different ones. Never be the same in samsara. To have a little more confidence of anatta, not by intention to have it, but by understanding a little more at a time when it's there and we talk about it little by little. It's so very precious to know the way, the path leading to understand the truth of a reality so clear, because when they are together appearing as nimitta, the truth cannot be known right now or any time. That's why learn to understand the reality as no one, and each one is different. The kusala one, the akusala one, and so on. All are there in life, taken to be my life or this life and next life and past life. All are different. So little by little, from the first round of the Ariya Satya to be the second round, to be the third round, more and more subtle, more and more difficult to let go, the clinging which has been accumulated from life to life, almost each moment in life in a day. That's all. Who knows how much understanding develops now, little by little. But at moment of understanding, it's the path, it's the development of understanding the truth which is now appearing. Gradually, so gradually, that is so true, it's conditioned to arise. As soon as it has arisen, it falls away. So right understanding understands that which has arisen now. That's the path, the only way. Until then, see? So we meet again and talk again, discuss again to have more understanding, little by little, of any reality which can be understood right now. So it's time now. สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadika Jan.
Sawadee Krap, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.